Hi, John DeBach with WPJon, and today we're talking about economical hosting for WordPress sites. You don't need to spend an arm and a leg to get good hosting, and I'll show you how right here, right now, on the WPJon channel. Bloop!
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm John DeBach. I've been building websites for companies and bloggers for over 10 years. Here on WPJon, I teach you everything I know about WordPress and digital marketing, so you can create amazing freaking websites that make money, money, money.
Web hosting. Web hosting. There are two kinds of hosts. Well, three really. One's garbage, and we won't talk about those. The other is economic hosting, shared hosting, and the third is a little bit more premium. It could be a VPS host, or maybe it's a completely managed solution. But there are kind of those two tiers. There's the shared hosting and the premier hosting. The shared hosting is cheaper, but it also has drawbacks. And of course, you don't want to deal with those drawbacks. You want speed, you want reliability, and so you have to know who the best shared host to go with is. Today, I'm going to tell you. It's a secret. You ready? It's Bluehost. You want to go with Bluehost. Bluehost is the best cheap WordPress host on the market today, by like a landslide. Bluehost has really great service. They have really great speeds for a shared host. They're not the site that I typically build my client sites on. I typically use the higher host, which I have another video about premium hosting. It's WPX. And the main reason is speed. Your sites will be a lot faster if you have a specifically managed WordPress solution. That being said, Bluehost for a shared host is incredible. Their speeds, their service, their customer support for the package they're giving you, in my opinion, is kind of unmatched. The other thing that's really great about Bluehost is that they have this one-click install process. Now, everybody says they have a one-click install process, but the truth is it's rarely a one-click install. HostGator has one, 1&1 has one. There's people who have like cheap... Is my dog barking? Stop it. Sorry, Coco's a little rowdy right now. Coco! Not all one-click installs are the same. Some of them are a lot easier than others. Bluehost made it completely streamlined so that you click, it has like little screens. This is how you install WordPress. Do this next, do this next. It's so simple and so intuitive that it's great for people who've never installed WordPress before. Once you see the website face, you'll see that it offers a free domain name for the first year. And while that's tempting because it saves you 10, 15 bucks or so, I still don't recommend doing it. There's a whole reason why you should or you need to buy your domain name with a registrar independently of your host, and I made a video about it on domain names, so if you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out. And if you need help in figuring out what a good domain name might be for your site, that's also a good video to check out because I give you some tips and tricks on how to find available domain names, because most of them are taken off the market by people who are greedy and just buy domain names and do nothing with them. I hate people who just stockpile domain names. They suck. They make all the bad names available and all the good names gone. Should have said that backwards. And now it's time for a shameless plug. Bloop bloop. Shameless plug. I love shameless plugs. Are you trying to make a WordPress website but just don't want to deal with it yourself? You're seeing all these videos and some of them are 3 hours and some of them are 2 hours and some of them are 10 minutes, but they don't give you all the information. Isn't it frustrating? It's frustrating. Just hire me. I will do everything for you. I'll get your domain name. I'll get your host set up. I'll even design a beautiful custom WordPress site that functions beautifully and looks like it costs thousands and thousands of dollars, all for a really cheap price. And I manage it month after month. You need premium plugins that cost hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars? Guess what? I usually own all those and can install them for you for free. Boop, boop. Just go over to WPJon. You'll see the Hire Me tab on the top of the site, and we can talk. Shameless plug officially over. Time to hop in. Time to go into the computer. You ready? Let's dive in. Woo! We're in the computer now. Okay, so this is Bluehost. You can get to Bluehost by bluehost.com, or you can be really kind and click on my affiliate link in the description. It's just wpjon.com/Bluehost. Of course, I get a little bit of affiliate kickback if you sign up with that link, and it just helps me kind of pay for my time to make these videos and help you guys out on the internet. So if you go to that link, you'll see this beautiful screen. You just click the green Get Started tab. And once that loads up, you'll see your different plan selections. Now, if you're really only planning on making one website, then you kind of only need the first package. But if you're like me and you learn how to make one website and then a friend finds out, they'll say, hey, can you help me make a website? And they do have these other packages like the Plus and the Choice Plus, where you can make many websites, in fact, unlimited websites on the same plan. Don't think that you're going to start making 200 websites and they'll all load beautifully. There are limits. It's just most people never use them, so they just say unlimited. But I would recommend if you're just making one website, just go with the plan that's here, month to month, and you can always upgrade. So let's click on select. And that's it. So we can create a new domain or use your own domain. Again, I recommend having the domain already. So we're going to type in. So I think I bought Kid Web Design in the last .com in the last video about domain names. You can check that out. So filling the form at Bluehost couldn't be simpler. It's just your name, address, credit card, and then you get to choose if you want to do it for 1, 2, or 3 years. They don't have month-to-month options, but their prices are so low that I think you can kind of afford to just do 1 month and kind of go for it. Or excuse me, 1 year and kind of go for it. And if you decide to move away from them, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee policy. So if you're really not happy, you can always leave. But you won't be because they're awesome. Anyway, you fill out the form and the green submit button, which is right over here. Let's take a look. Boop, right there. And once that's done processing, you will see a screen confirming that you have now bought the hosting package, which looks like this. So this is what it looks like when you have success. Right away, you're going to want to hit this blue Create Account button to get started. So go ahead and this one right here, and that will take you to creating your account. By the way, I'm going to create passwords. One tool I use for creating and storing all my passwords is Lastpass.com. I'm not an affiliate with them, but they're amazing and they have a great free plan that I use. And it's a great way to store and keep your secure passwords, and they have a mobile app. So I literally have, I think, 300 or 400 sites and different things I have login passwords for, and I can create new secure passwords. It's amazing. If you don't use it yet, you should definitely try it. So I'm just going to create a password using my Lastpass, create my account. So now that I have the account, you'll see this blue button. We're going to click on Go to Login. There's the domain name, and I'm going to enter my password that I created and log in. And once it logs in, you'll start to be able to see your control panel and all that kind of stuff, which is great. So here they ask you some simple questions to get you started. All this is part of like why I like Bluehost. It's really simple to use. It kind of lets you, kind of leads you down the path that you need to go. So what's your site's tagline? We make awesome, kid-centric websites. Okay, do you want a blog? Yes. We'll just do a different page. Continue. Let's see, what are your goals online? You can click promote my business, share my ideas, offer services. Well, we'll just do everything. Are you comfortable creating your websites? I'm going to click very, because I think that they email you different like how to do web design kind of tutorials, and they're great. You might want to look at them, but I know how to do that, and you can always watch these videos, so you don't have to do that. And then continue to theme selection. So at theme selection, I'm just going to pick Astra. It's the first one. A lot of people like Astra. I personally like using Divi, but it's if you have to install a theme, just go ahead and you can install. You can always delete it later. So we're going to install Astra, which again is very popular. A lot of people use it with a different plugin called Elementor, and I might make a tutorial on how to do it. But again, I am a Divi guy. I use Divi for all my own personal websites, so you might want to look at Divi. Now, because of the selections that I've made on my onboarding process here, what they're doing is a few things all at once for you that you'd have to do manually. One, they're seeing if your home page is your blog or not, which is a setting that you'll typically have to do on your own. 2, they're installing the theme. 3, they're giving your site its name and tagline, which are some settings in the default that they're just going to kind of take care of for you. And now everything is set up. So if you look over here on the computer, because I didn't connect my domain to the host, it has a temporary link that you can use. If you click on View My Site right here, that will open a new tab, and you'll be able to see what the website looks like on the front end for normal users. And as you can see, it's nothing special. It's just like a Bluehost temporary page, but it's something. It's up there and it's installed, and you don't have to worry about installing WordPress. It's basically done for you. Now, if you want to log into WordPress, it's already installed, and you could do it straight from the dashboard. If you look at the site here, you have a big blue button that says WordPress. If you click on that, you'll be taken to your dashboard where you'll see the back end of WordPress. This back end of WordPress is what's controlling what this side of things look like, which is what everybody sees when they visit your website. So one thing I will say is there's usually a lot of bloat. There's a lot of themes and software that hosts install when they do automatic default installations. The first thing I do with any WordPress install is just get rid of that crap. Most of it is meant to kind of help you, but I find that I like using my own premium stuff. And this stuff just gets confusing for the dashboard. I like a nice clean workspace, so I just get rid of everything. Let me show you what I mean. So under posts, this is a default thing that WordPress does. They're going to have a sample post and a sample page for you already pre-programmed onto your site so that you know exactly what's going on. So over here in the post section is Hello World. I'm going to trash that post right away. We don't need it. Nobody needs a Hello World post. We'll write our own first post. Thank you very much. So once that's trashed, we're going to also delete the default pages if there are any and get rid of the plugins we don't need. Even if the plugins are things that you might like in the future, if you're just getting started, start with a clean slate. They're going to be these like, hey, update me banners, or what about this? And don't get distracted. Focus on the task at hand, which is setting up your website appropriately. Like all this stuff right here. If you look at like this is for Astra, this is for Opt-in Monster, this is for analytics. And yes, all this stuff is good, but I install analytics differently. I don't do Opt-in Monster for email subscribers. I use Convert Pro, and I'll show you how to do that. And if you are going to use Astra, you're probably going to need to use Astra's theme there, but you can also get rid of these notifications. I mean, it's just annoying. You know, like if you look at the screen, this is taking up the whole screen, basically. It's just obnoxious, and I don't want to have to keep clicking on the X's and things like that. And let's go to the plugin screen so we see what we can uninstall. So plugins are things, if you don't know about WordPress, that kind of increase the features and capabilities of the site, and sometimes they slow your site down if they're not coded right, and if you don't need them, you really shouldn't have them. So right now, you'll see that there's a bunch of stuff that you need. Now, if you are on Bluehost, you do want to keep this one plugin installed, because that allows you to log in from your Bluehost dashboard in addition to the normal way. So we're going to leave that one, but we're going to check the other ones, Jetpack, Opt-in Monster, WP Forms Lite, and we're going to go to bulk actions right over here, and we're going to deactivate it and hit apply. Unfortunately, you can't just delete them if they're not being used. You have to deactivate them first. It's a two-step process. So you want to deactivate all the stuff you're not using. And then a really quick tip is if you want to delete or do things at once, you can, and it's most of the plugins, you can check the box right up here, and that will select all of them. And I'm going to unselect Bluehost, which will keep everything else intact. And then I'm going to hit delete because I really don't want all these plugins annoying me like craziness. So we'll delete all these other plugins, and now we have a clean workspace in terms of plugins. We'll take a look at your pages that they pre-installed, and you'll see that they have a privacy policy page and a sample page. This is actually default from WordPress. Bluehost didn't do this. Whenever you install a new WordPress install, typically it'll have a sample page and a privacy policy. It used to not have a privacy policy, but it's kind of required, and we'll go over what goes in a privacy policy and terms for your website in another video, but I would leave it there just to remind yourself to do it. Now, the first thing I typically do is edit the sample page so that it's called homepage, so I don't get confused. So in the dashboard, you're going to want to click on that edit button right there, and then you'll be taken to this page, which is all the default content. Now, I'm not going to get into how to write pages just yet. I just want to go ahead and type in homepage, where the big thing that said sample page was, and then click this blue update button. That's how you update pages and posts in WordPress. So once I click update, it'll change the name of that page to homepage so that when I'm in my pages list of all my pages in my website, I know that that's the homepage and that's the one I need to work with. If I'm editing the homepage, that is. And now that we've done all that, you'll notice that the front end of the website looks very differently. If we go back to our dashboard and just right click on the logo up here and hit open link in a new tab, you'll see that it loads in, and this is what the default Astra theme looks like. You have a header, you have a sidebar, and you have a footer, and then you have this big blank area for content. So that is your default way that most WordPress themes work. You have a header, footer, sidebar, content. Header, footer, sidebar, content. That's the 4 elements of a website. All right, and usually you'll have your logo or text on the left at the top of the header, and then you have your menu, your sidebar has interesting information, and then your footer has your copyright and sometimes other cool links. Now, obviously this doesn't look very interesting, so we have to figure out how to style the theme and do all this interesting stuff, which we'll go over in another video. But right now, give yourself a big old pat on the back. You bought a web host, you installed WordPress, you edited the homepage, you deleted all the crap that you don't need, you're ready to roll. I mean, this is a huge step. step in the process of getting a website made, and you did it. I think you deserve a latte, or a beer, or a Coca-Cola, or an ice cream sundae. Or, am I really just going to start listing things they deserve? Or maybe a bowl of pretzels, or Doritos, or fish sticks. I gotta come up with other ways to end these videos. That's it for now. I'll check you out on the next video. Again, if you need some help making these websites, feel free to hire me. And if you're gonna check out Bluehost, a great web host with great speed and features, consider clicking on that affiliate link for me to get a little bit of a kickback so I can keep making these cool, interesting tutorial videos for you. If you have any specific questions about WordPress you want me to address, and it could be pretty extensive and in-depth. I know a lot about the PHP and like pretty complicated stuff. But if there's something that's tripping you up and you don't know how to get through that hurdle, just leave a comment or hit me up on my website and let me know, and I will try my best to make a video for you so that you can further your knowledge of running the world. I mean, making WordPress sites.